FBI also has warned that the war in Gaza will ignite more radicalization on American soil. And it just so happens that the wife of a convicted terrorist, Samil al-Arian, was spotted at the Columbia University protest encampment last week, though she has not been accused of breaking any laws. So how dangerous is what we're seeing on these college campuses? Joining us now is Jennifer Coffindaffer, former FBI agent and NewsNation law and justice contributor. Jennifer, several outside agitators have been arrested at these colleges and spotted at these protests. And we just heard the mayor of New York talk about the fact that some of these outside agitators arrived at Columbia University right before students violently overtook Hamilton Hall. So how much of the violence is opportunistic, involving people who want to make trouble?
Well, it certainly is opportunistic. And unfortunately, you have some people that have truly, as we're watching here, becoming radicalized. And what that means by definition is truly when you start to take an ideology and shift from just having these ideas to acting out in a forceful, illegal nature to coerce action. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
I think a lot of us heard FBI Director Chris Wray when he warned about the threat of radicalization happening in the United States as a result of the war in Gaza. I think most assumed he was talking about terrorist activity. Is there fear that some of these college protests could grow into something a little more dangerous?
Well, I think so. And actually, Director Wray was very clear when he stated that they feel like they have stopgapped a lot of the outside terroristic activity that could happen on our soil, but we have not stopgapped the homegrown violent terrorists that could develop. And that's what I think you're seeing here slowly develop that could become more of a movement.
What is the FBI doing about it, Jennifer?
Well, the number one thing the FBI does in these situations is they really develop actual informants that are in these or outside on the peripheral of these groups to integrate in. They also send FBI agents to work undercover to try to infiltrate these types of groups. In addition, they're going to be talking, of course, to witnesses and other people that are affiliated with these people to see what they can glean. And they will also get FISA warrants so they can actually overhear what's happening. What influence do outside terrorist organizations have on these individual students?
You know, and this is a nationwide thing. We've been showing a lot of video, obviously from New York and LA and Wisconsin, just in the setup. But this has been happening nationwide. We have a map here showing all the college campuses where police have had to go in and make arrests there because laws were being broken. It's across the whole country.
It is, and that shows, I think, the organization, if you will, of it all. And I think what's really disturbing is at the core of what they're seeking, what they're trying to coerce, and that's these universities to stop any affiliation with Jewish companies, Jewish, any affiliation, and that is really disturbing.
All right. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.